Again, everyone. As you already know, I am Gloria Onyebuchi. I head marketing and sales and digital marketing as well for Westgate. I'm also into the solar world, as you already know as well, not just based on sales and marketing, also in the engineering sector. I also train my fellow women and I train those who wants to have an insight into the solar. So if you want to do a kind of migration, yeah, I have communities that I take my time to train. Let me start it this way, probably because I was already in the solar world before I came for the training. I take my time to always equip myself the best way possible. As they say, information is key. I wanted to have more insight on the engineering perspective, on the calculations. I needed to learn from another lecturer, not for myself, not from my fellow engineers around me. So I was like, okay, fine, let me jump on this. And I had to meet Mr. David, who gave a whole different perspective again, and he gave my whole enlightening more broadening on what I already know. During the training, yes, at the point I was not stable because I had a project I was working on, so it kept me shaky, but I was still able to fall back in the best way possible. In all, generally, it was another line for me. It was quite an experience, trust me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the whole platform and everything. The class that stood out for me was the part of the customer relation. Why? Because I still feel in the niche of professionalism, there's still that gap that has not been met. In-house, like staffs, I've not taken time to wear customer shoes wholly. There's always this loop. I'm not exactly saying we're so good and we just have to be there, but there are times where we have to miss out on that gap, and that gap is where becomes a competitive marketing for other people. So I got to understand more value to put into customers. Yeah, I know we tend to say customers are kings and all of that, but at the same time, you have to make customer more of your acquaintance and customer more of your, I wouldn't say friend, but it's important you build relationship with customer, because that is always a need to break into the customers and get what you want. So that was my main part in the whole soft skill training. For the theory part of the training was definitely the engineering part, nothing else. Trust me, the engineering part was everything. And everybody complained, why do you want to climb the roof? And I just have a passion for climbing the roof. Oh god, that's a difficult one. Maybe because I built myself not to have challenges. Okay, one of the challenges I had was the fact I was with male counterparts who, in quotes, knows everything. Please don't take it the wrong way, but they didn't actually give room for people who wanted to learn. I understand the fact it has to be interactive and all of that, but I still felt they should have piped it low, because I've already had the knowledge in my own best way, but I still noticed few other male counterparts who needed the whole knowledge afresh and all of that. My challenge was just being with men at that point and mounting up to them, being on the same level. But I guess I was able to meet up at some point. If I get a 300, between 3 to 500 is not a bad one. For 300K, they have to be value alongside. Well, because I've been exposed to training that costs about 15 million already. So why, if I'm getting that at that period, I understand the economy is not so stable and all of that. So just trying to match up to what we're getting for free, you have to pay something. Yeah, it's still a fair price to our Nigerian economy. Trust me, I'm working with trying not to have expectations so I can learn. So I just open-minded. So whatever it is, I just attract everything. But my expectations, the little expectation I had in being open-minded was, I just have to get every level of engineering skills I can gather and put it together again. When solar started back to building back, when we had this way, you have to build and couple and all of those stuff. Yes, my dad was part of those who actually did that. So I was just always watching. I always observed, but I was not interested. I was just always watching. And times when he has to travel, I have to do one or two just to make sure we had lights at the house. So the part where I have to troubleshoot when it's not available was where my passion started. So, and the fact he also trained us that you don't have to be a lady or a guy to be in that field. Everybody has to learn different things. So I was like, okay, he's not here. What can I do? What can we do to get light? So I started building that passion there. I was just putting it there. I wasn't actually thinking it was exactly a passion until I got called to talk to some solar persons. Then I got the job, my first job in the solar world, and that was how I started. Okay, I didn't exactly start with solar. I started with digital marketing because I came in as a digital marketer. Yeah, so, and when I brought out the other part of me and they're like, okay, we didn't know you had this. So that was how it was. The feedback there is just to I understand there's teamwork. There have to be teamwork here, but I also feel there have to be individuality in the whole training sector. If you have to work with your team, you also have to work on yourself. Because you might be with your team, you're hiding under someone, you're not exactly certain you can do it. But if having had that team section, you're also told, okay, you have to stand out and do something yourself individually, it will enhance the practical knowledge of everybody who comes for the training. Okay, yeah, before and after. Yeah, like I said, the post the training, I already had the experience with customer relationship and every other soft skill, adaptability and all of that. Yeah, I had to enhance myself. Yeah, so when I came into that circle, yeah, and I saw my results for a start, and I told myself, so you actually are not up to 80 here. And where I was 80, I was like, you're not up to 100. And I was like, okay, you need to. So I tried to see how I could work that within that circle at that point. No, it's all right.
People intending, taking them on the field so they can learn more, people that would sort of coach you so that you're
I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I use everything. Everything has to work. I had to use all the soft skill because everything is necessary in the industry. You have to adapt to the customer, and the customer has to adapt to you, and that's where the part of adaptability come in. Yeah. Then you have the part of critical thinking. That's very crucial because if you can't think through anything you're doing, you're always going to have lapses and gaps. As I said, during the training, I had a project, and I also knew I was running the training, so I had to be critical because we encountered very heavy issues, and I had to think fast so that I could finish up, create a solution, and get back to my training. So thanks for having me.